Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest, Air Marshal T.D. Joseph, AVSM, VM, VSM, has arrived and he is accompanied by General S.H. Kulkarni, Director, Mayo College. As is customary, we have a special guest with us, Arav Gaurav Kulkar, the youngest student of Mayo College. Our chief guest is being received by Chief NCC Officer Achaldeep Dubey. Our chief guest is now being introduced to Second Officer Air Wing Rajesh Soni, Third Officer Naval Wing Jitendra Singh Chauhan, Subedar Major Prayag Singh, in charge Army Wing Ajay Sharma, Headmaster Junior School Mr. Pramod Chaturvedi, Headmaster Senior School Mr. Naveen Kumar Deshi, the Bursar Mr. Manoj Kumar Parekh. Chief guest is now being introduced to Chief Scout Master Sunil Gupta, Scout Master Ravi Shankar Sharma, Scout Master Dharmendra Kumar Mishra. And ladies and gentlemen, the proud moment has arrived. May I now request the chief guest to hoist the flag. Chief NCC Officer Achaldeep Dubey would kindly escort the chief guest. To the grandeur of the drummer's call by our school band, Mayo Top Cook. will now move forward to inspect the parade. Our chief guest is being escorted for the inspection by Chief NCC Officer Achal Dubey, Parade Commander. First in line is Mayo Squad under the charge of Subedar Major Prayag Singh. And now we have the Army Wing under the charge of Mr. Ajay Sharma. The Navy Wing 1 comes next, which is under the charge of 3rd Officer Jitendra Singh Chauhan.
जय श्रीमान ब्रेक शुरू कराने की अनुमति चाहता हूँ श्रीमान जय श्रीमान निकलना चल निकल काला माइक से घुसरेगा बढ़िया है पेट थोड़ा
Here comes the parade commander, Tanesh Sharma. Here comes our very own Mayo Squad, led by Harshvardhan Singh. The Mayo Cadet Corps comprises volunteer students of class 10.
Mayo Squad, silence!
The Navy Wing 1 Squad, led by Lokendra Singh. The Pachranga, the 5-colored flag of Mayo, flutters with pride as it is held by Banit Tejas Gandhi along with Cadet Parakram Singh Bhayara and Arjun Kulsawar. Following the Mayo flag is the Navy Wing 3, which is led by Cadet Raj Anand Kakarka. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rashtriya Nishan Toli is here. It is being led by Suryavardhan Singh Shekhawat. Marching alongside him are Arjun Vashisht and Bjorn Toli. I request you all to please rise for the national flag. The Brass Band 2. The Mayo Brass Band is a volunteer brass band too. It is also known as Top Cool. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the Air Wing Squad, led by Cadet Raj Vashisht. The NCC Nishan Toli, comprising Cadet Nikeshu Pratap Singh Tanwar, Cadet Neet Goswami and Cadet Amishwarya Rawat. Here comes the Scout Squad 1, led by Khushwardhan Singh Chauhan. Next up, we have the Scout Squad 2, led by Pranchu Keria. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mayo Mountain Squadron has arrived. It is being led by Dhruv Chitawat. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander Tarish Sharma would seek permission to conclude the parade.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all are requested to rise as the national flag is leaving.
India, Bharat. These are not mere words, but embodiments of courage, artistry, diversity, and an essence of profound greatness. Since time immemorial, Bharat has been paramount. When the world was dabbling with questions of science and medicine, Bharat's incisive scriptures contained all the answers. Centuries later, we were taken hostage of our own amicability and dharma, exploited by the greed overseas. Our forefathers, in their desire to quench the thirst for freedom, found solace in martyrdom for the country. Such was their dedication for the glimpse of a free India. We, in the 21st century, lead a life that revolves around comfort and leisure, to such extent that we forget the toil of those great emissaries of freedom who sacrificed their lives and families for us to breathe the free air and sense the inimitability of Bharat Mata. Hence, I consider it to be my duty to remind you that this morning it is a privilege for us to stand under our country's flag, brimming with pride and honor as we recall the sacrifice of those who live on in our memories, pride, and the hearts of each one of us. The Independence Day celebration has always been a much awaited event for everyone here at MIA, be it the students or the staff. And it is my proud privilege to introduce the chief guest for today, Air Marshal P.D. Joseph, AVSM, VM, VSM. Air Marshal P.D. Joseph is a 1979 batch Mayoite from Ajmer House. During his brief stay in the school, he became the school cross-country captain, member of the basketball team, and a prefect. He joined the National Defence Academy, Khadakwasla, Pune in January 1979. He was commissioned as a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force in December 1982, where he graduated receiving the Sword of Honor of the batch for standing first in order of merit. He is accustomed to several fighter and trainer aircrafts like MiG-21, MiG-23, MiG-27, Sukhoi 30 and Kiran jet trainer, etc. He is a Category A qualified flying instructor and a distinguished instrument rating instructor and examiner. He was the commanding officer of 18th Squadron, the Flying Bullets, and the Flying Instructor School in Chennai. He was the commander of the strategic Hindon Air Base in the rank of Air Commodore. Besides holding key appointments all over the IAF, he has conducted several air defense missions over Siachen Glacier in the 1980s. And while commanding a MiG-27 squadron, he was deployed on the Western Front during Operation Parakram in 2001. He is an alumnus of the National Defence Academy, Pune, Defence Services Staff College, Wellington, Royal College of Defence Studies, London, and King's College, London. He achieved instructor's grading in all professional service courses that he attended. He has authored several articles on air power and national security related subjects, and a book titled Winning India's Next War, Role of Aerospace Power. Other important appointments tenanted by the Air Marshal include being an Air Force examiner of pilots and flying instructors, Chief Operation Officers of 2 flying bases, Air Defence Commander of Southwestern and Eastern sectors of India, Senior Instructor at DSSC, and Senior Directing Staff at National Defence College, New Delhi. On being promoted to the rank of Air Marshal, he was appointed as Senior Air Staff Officer at Headquarters Training Command, Bengaluru, where he was responsible for the training of all officer cadets and airmen of the Indian Air Force. He retired from the IAF on 31st July 2021 after nearly 39 years of service to the nation. For his distinguished and dedicated service to the nation, he was bestowed with presidential awards of Vayu Sena Medal in 2003, Vishesh Seva Medal in 2010, and Ati Vishesh Seva Medal in 2021. Currently, he is working at Director ISR Programs with Spatial Ice Private Limited, an Indian company in the field of space applications set up by Captain Jatin Bains, a Mayoite from 1972 batch. We welcome you, sir. भारत की फिजाओं को सदा याद रहूंगा, आजाद था, आजाद हूं, आजाद ही रहूंगा. Ladies and gentlemen, echoing Chandrasekhar Azad's immortal phrase, I request Shaurya Atul Bansal from the junior school to deliver his speech on this momentous occasion.
आदरणीय मुख्य अतिथि एयर मार्शल टी.डी. जोसेफ, डायरेक्टर मेयो कॉलेज, लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल सुरेंद्र कुलकर्णी, अतिथिगण, अध्यापकगण और भारत के भावी नागरिक, मेरे प्रिय मित्रों, भारत की स्वाधीनता को नमन करते हुए मैं आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव पर आप सभी को हार्दिक बधाइयाँ देता हूँ, आपका अभिनंदन करता हूँ। हिम शिखरों से ऊंची कर दो हिंदुस्तानी शान को, और वक्त पड़े तो मस्तक दे दो भारत के स्वाभिमान को, भारत के स्वाभिमान को। जय हिंद दोस्तों। स्वतंत्रता कहे या स्वाधीनता, यह एक स्वाभाविक प्रक्रिया है। सदियों तक गुलामी के जंजीरों में जीने वाला भारत अंग्रेजों के अत्याचारों से त्रस्त था। खुली हवा में सांस लेने को बेचैन भारत के जनमानस ने अपनी आज़ादी का पहला बिगुल मेरठ छावनी में सन 1857 में बजाया, परंतु कुछ कारणों से हम गुलामी से मुक्त न हो सके। वास्तव में आज़ादी का संघर्ष तब अधिक हो गया जब बाल गंगाधर तिलक ने कहा, स्वतंत्रता हमारा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है और हम उसे लेकर रहेंगे। और सुभाष चंद्र बोस के जोशीले आह्वान ने, तुम मुझे खून दो मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा, के नारे ने तो प्रत्येक भारतवासी की नस नस में आज़ादी की ज्वाला को भड़का दिया। वीर शहीदों के त्याग तथा खून पसीने से सींचकर 15 अगस्त हमें अंग्रेजों की गुलामी की दास्ता एवं अत्याचारों से मुक्ति मिली। यह आज़ादी अमूल्य धरोहर है, क्योंकि इस आज़ादी में हमारे असंख्य भाई बंधुओं का संघर्ष, त्याग तथा बलिदान समाहित है। तो आओ आज मुश्किलों से मिली इस आज़ादी का महत्व समझे, तिरंगे के इन रंगों का महत्व समझे। इस पर्व को आज़ाद भारत के जन्म दिवस को पूरे दिल से, उत्साह एवं जोश से मनाएं। आइए आज हम शपथ लें कि हमारे इस देश को विकास की ऊंचाइयों तक लेकर जाएंगे, इसकी गरिमा और सम्मान को सदैव अपने से बढ़कर समझेंगे, इसकी शान में 4 चांद लगाएंगे। आज हम सभी क्षेत्रों में किसी से कम नहीं, विकास के हर एक क्षेत्र में हमारी दुनिया की अलग ही पहचान है। ऋषि सुनक जैसे भारतीयों ने हमारी क्षमता तथा बुद्धिमत्ता का पूरी दुनिया में डंका बजा दिया। हमारे पास दुनिया की सर्वश्रेष्ठ सैन्य शक्ति है। हमारी गिनती विश्व के उन देशों में होती है जिनके पास आधुनिक हथियार एवं मिसाइलें हैं। सुपरसोनिक ब्रह्मोस, पृथ्वी, अग्नि और नाग जैसी मिसाइलें चंद सेकंड्स में दुश्मनों को नाकों चने चबा सकती है। मैं बताना चाहता हूँ आज हमारे पड़ोसियों को कि बुद्ध और गांधी का यह देश बंदूक से नहीं, बातचीत से हर समस्या का हल चाहता है। अफगानिस्तान एवं श्रीलंका को मानव सहायता भी हमारी इसी नीति का परिचय है, परंतु लोग इसे हमारी कमजोरी समझने की भूल न करें। हम सहनशीलता के साथ प्रतिकार करना भी जानते हैं। अभी भी हमें कई आयामों पर आज़ादी हासिल करना बाकी है। शिक्षा से आज़ादी, गरीबी और बेरोजगारी से आज़ादी, गलत परंपराओं और कुरीतियों से आज़ादी, भ्रष्टाचार और बेईमानी से आज़ादी, झूठे अहंकार से आज़ादी। तो आओ आज इन बेड़ियों को उखाड़ फेंकने का संकल्प ले, आगे बढ़े, मिलकर विकास के शिखर को चूमें, आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर बढ़े, बुलंदियों को छू ले, क्योंकि युवा भारत के सपने सच होने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता। अंत में मैं तो यही कहूँगा, मन समर्पित, तन समर्पित और यह जीवन समर्पित। चाहता हूँ मातृभूमि कि तुझे कुछ और भी दूँ, कि तुझे कुछ और भी दूँ। तो आओ मिलकर तोड़े झूठे अभिमान को, कंधे से कंधे मिलाकर मजबूत कर दे भारत के आधार को, भारत के आधार को। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, Shaurya. Every Indian should now forget what caste, creed, culture or religion he belongs to. He must remember that he is an Indian and he has every right in his country, but with certain duties as well. Resonating the same thought, I now invite the boys of junior school to perform a patriotic rendition, Hind Desh ke Nivasi Sab Janege.
देश के निवासी सभी जन एक हैं, रंग रूप वेश भाषा चाहे देश के निवासी सभी जन एक हैं, रंग रूप वेश भाषा चाहे
thank you for the performance. I now welcome Abhyuday Sethi from the junior school to deliver his speech in English.
Good morning, Honorable Chief Guest, Air Marshal T.D. Joseph, Director, Mayo College, Lieutenant General S.H. Kulkarni, distinguished guests, members of the staff, and my dear friends. Today, we have gathered united in patriotic spirit as citizens of this great nation, and I extend my heartiest congratulations to each and every one present here on our 76th Independence Day. Independence, self-reliance, the ability to shape our own future, free from the shackles of dependency. This is what independence has come to mean for us. Our great freedom fighters struggled to attain Purna Swaraj in India. They did it so that their future generations may live freely. Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, Sarojini Naidu, to name a few. They gave everything they had for us: blood, sweat, toil, and tears. Whether it was marching down dusty roads for days, taking on the brutality of colonial rule, spending countless days in jail, these brave men and women ensured that in the end our tricolour would flutter high. It's not just on such occasions that we must remember them, but as citizens breathing free air, imbibe the love that they had for their nation in ourselves, as it became possible only because of them that we can think and live freely. In just 7 decades, India has become one of the fastest growing economies of the world. We are the largest democracy and an emerging global power. We are one of the few nations with an active space organization at par with leading nations of the world that set a record for launching 108 satellites in one go when no one thought we could. We also have the second largest software development community and are one of the 3 nations that are manufacturing supercomputers. With the Make in India initiative, we have transformed our budget for the indigenous development of weapons and have also begun the export of cruise missiles. More so, some nations have even begun to look towards India for the light combat aircraft Tejas. The contributions which we have made globally are immense due to the rock-solid foundation that our country has been built upon. Today, it becomes our duty as citizens of India to uphold the principles and beliefs that our founding fathers laid before us. As an independent democracy, the largest on the planet, we must begin to look forward together to shape a nation that is self-reliant, self-sufficient, and, if I may quote the great Tagore, a nation where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, a nation where we shatter narrow domestic walls and progress forward with ever-widening thought and action. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate our Independence Day with nationalism at heart. Let us acknowledge the fact that we all are equal, irrespective of our caste, creed, religion, gender, ethnicity, language spoken, or financial status. Remember that the people are the pillars of the Democratic Republic of India and the ones who will take forward the nation's legacy. Before I end, I would once again like to congratulate you all on this auspicious day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Abhyuday. A nation's culture resides in the heart and soul of its people. A nation can only prosper and reach the zenith of success when every citizen decides to contribute wholeheartedly and honestly to the upliftment of his country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the boys of senior school with the cultural rendition Utho Jawan, Desh Ki Vasundhara Pukarti. thank you for the performance. I now request Adamya Rawat to deliver his speech.
सुप्रभात। आप सभी को मेरा नमन। आदरणीय मुख्य अतिथि महोदय, माननीय डायरेक्टर महोदय, हेडमास्टर सीनियर स्कूल, हेडमास्टर जूनियर स्कूल, माननीय शिक्षकगण तथा मेरे प्यारे साथियों, आप सभी को 76वें स्वतंत्रता दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। आजादी के इस अमृत महोत्सव में आज हमारे देश के एक हिस्से से दूसरे हिस्से तक हर कोई जय भारत के नारे लगा रहा है। यह वास्तव में स्वतंत्रता और मातृभूमि के प्रति प्रेम की भावना की अभिव्यक्ति है। आज हम आजादी का जश्न मना रहे हैं, लेकिन वीर शहीदों के बलिदान का दर्द आज भी हिंदुस्तान के सीने को छल नहीं करता है। आजादी दान में मिली कोई वस्तु नहीं है, यह एक निशुल्क उपहार भी नहीं है। हम सभी जानते हैं यह स्वतंत्रता बहुत कठिनाई से मिली है। इसके पीछे दशकों का बलिदान और संघर्ष की अनगिनत गाथाएं हैं। संकल्प तब तक अधूरा होता है जब तक संकल्प के साथ पराक्रम और प्रतिष्ठा की पराकाष्ठा ना हो। यह आजादी हमारे पूर्वजों द्वारा किए गए बलिदानों, उनके द्वारा सही गई क्रूर यातनाओं और संघर्षों का मूल्य है। हम उन योद्धाओं और स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों को नमन करते हैं जिन्होंने हमारे देश को स्वतंत्र कराने हेतु अपने प्राणों का बलिदान दिया। हमारे देश को आजाद हुए कई दशक हो चुके हैं और इस दौरान भारत हर मोर्चे पर दुनिया भर में अपनी धाक जमा चुका है। साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, अर्थव्यवस्था, कृषि, शिक्षा, साहित्य, खेल सहित सभी मोर्चों पर भारत बहुत तरक्की कर चुका है। परमाणु क्षमता संपन्न देश भारत अंतरिक्ष के क्षेत्र में भी बहुत तरक्की कर चुका है, कई उपलब्धियां हासिल कर चुका है। चंद्रयान 2 की सफलता इसका बड़ा प्रमाण है कि विकास के हर क्षेत्र में भारत बहुत आगे बढ़ चुका है। आज सारी दुनिया भारत की ओर देख रही है। हमारे पास एक बड़ी और बहादुर सेना है। हमारे सशस्त्र बल बहुत बहादुर हैं, हमारी सीमाएं सुरक्षित है और हमारे दुश्मन हमसे डरते हैं। हम राजनीतिक रूप से शक्तिशाली हैं और आर्थिक रूप से मजबूत हैं। हमारे युवक प्रौद्योगिकी, इंजीनियरिंग और चिकित्सा में दुनिया का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं। हाल में भारत ने ओलंपिक और कॉमनवेल्थ में अपना सर्वश्रेष्ठ प्रदर्शन दिया। आज हम स्वतंत्र और खुशहाल लोगों के साथ दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र हैं। साथियों, स्वतंत्रता एक दायित्व है, लेकिन यह भी सच है कि आजादी मिलने के इतने बरसों बाद भी आज भारत अपराध, भ्रष्टाचार, हिंसा, नक्सलवाद, आतंकवाद, गरीबी, बेरोजगारी, अशिक्षा जैसी समस्याओं से लड़ रहा है। हम सभी को एक होकर इन समस्याओं को खत्म करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए। हमारे कंधों पर एक बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है। जब तक भारत को इन समस्याओं से हम मुक्त नहीं करते, तब तक स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों का सपना पूरा नहीं होगा। हमारे एकजुट होकर प्रयास करने से ही श्रेष्ठ और विकसित भारत का निर्माण होगा। देश में जन्मे प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को राष्ट्र निर्माण के प्रति समर्पण का भाव रखना ही सच्ची राष्ट्र सेवा है। राष्ट्र जैसे छोटे से शब्द में विशाल, असीमित और बहुआयामी अर्थ तथा कर्तव्य बोध का सार समाहित है। राष्ट्र प्रगति के लिए यह आवश्यक है कि देश का प्रत्येक नागरिक, चाहे वह जिस दशा में है, जिस परिस्थिति में है, जहां है, अपना योगदान दे। हम सभी का नैतिक दायित्व है कि हम अपने राष्ट्र की सीमाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए मर मिटने को तैयार रहें, राष्ट्र निर्माण में अपनी योग्यता सिद्ध करें। हमें यह अनुभूति होनी चाहिए कि मैं ही राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए उपयुक्त व्यक्ति हूं। भविष्य इस बात पर निर्भर करता है साथियों कि हम वर्तमान में क्या करते हैं। युवा होने के नाते हमें अपने राष्ट्र के भविष्य है, इसलिए हमें एक बेहतर कल के लिए अपने आज का उपयोग करना होगा। तो आइए आज हम सभी ये प्रतिज्ञा लें कि हम अपने देश को दुनिया में शक्तिशाली और सम्मानित बनाने के लिए हर संभव योगदान देंगे। अंत में मैं केवल इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा, बस ये बात हवाओं को बताए रखना, बस ये बात हवाओं को बताए रखना, रोशनी होगी चिरागों को जलाए रखना। लहू देकर जिसकी हिफाजत की शहीदों ने, उस तिरंगे को सदा दिल में बसाए रखना, उस तिरंगे को सदा दिल में बसाए रखना। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, Adamya. India's journey to freedom was not an easy one. It was full of struggles, turmoils, and sacrifices. But we have come a long way. We are the new India, the bright India which aims to rise and shine. What does the journey of India signify? Let's hear it from Mayan Jain from the senior school, who is raising these pertinent points through his speech.
Distinguished guests, parents, teachers, and my fellow students, a very good morning and namaskar to all of you. Celebrating the 76th anniversary of Independence Day, I am filled with deep emotions as I stand here today. 15th August 1947, India woke up to a new life of freedom. But 2 centuries of colonial rule decayed India from the Del, leaving the country in poverty and hunger. Our founding fathers set out to wipe every tear from the eye of every Indian. It is 75 years later that we can enjoy the fruits of the foundation of free India, whose seeds were sown by known and unknown personalities whose courage and patriotism we celebrate today. 75 years ago, India began its journey to become one of the largest democracies in the world, overcoming a plethora of challenges to earn global recognition. India has come a long way since then, leaving behind a string of landmarks that define its journey from the agony of partition to a strong, powerful, and a developing nation. Today is an occasion to reaffirm our common nationhood, our common patriotism, and our common love for a country that embraces all Indians in a shared narrative of hope and aspiration. Today, we must also celebrate the civic nationalism enshrined in our constitution that affirms that in India, it should only matter that you are an Indian. Coming to Mayo, students bring in myriad values, cultures, perspectives, and beliefs to make Mayo vibrant and effervescent. This diversity in our school is something that we've built on and something that we will cherish. We celebrate differences, different identities, different thoughts, different backgrounds, and different opinions. The confluence of it all is what we associate as the true spirit of independence. A nation who forgets its past has no future. With every passing day, we are to remind ourselves that this privilege of independence is not a windfall, but an outcome of back-breaking struggles and horrendous and harrowing horrors of partition. And people who've played a pivotal role should be inseparable parts of our lives, not only so that we could pay homage to them, but so that we never fall short of the spirit of freedom and sacrifice in our lives. I believe ours must remain an open society, rich and diverse and plural civilization, one that is open to the contention of ideas and interests within it, unafraid of the prowess and the products of the outside world, and is wedded to the democratic pluralism that has and continues to be India's greatest strength. Such an India will liberate and fulfill the creative energies of its people, protect us from border troubles and pandemics, promote economic growth and prosperity, and lift people out of poverty. That is the India all of us dream, and that is the India all of us strive for. Now is the time to rise from the darkness and desolation of segregation to the sunlight and warmth of unity. As I stand under the swirling tricolor flag, I feel that sense of pride deep within my heart of being an Indian, of being a part of this colossal entity, a subcontinent of diversity, which revels in and rejoices in its differences. It is these innumerable shades which make this rainbow called India, a nation full of grandeur with the essence of wisdom and aspiration spread across centuries. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Ayan. May I now request our Chief Guest, Air Marshal T.D. Joseph, to kindly address the gathering.
Director Mayo, General Kulkarni, respected teachers who are responsible to lay the strong foundations for the future of India through the school, our very respected former masters of the school, including my own housemaster, Sri Ramesh Mathur, distinguished guests, fellow Mayoites, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, congratulations and greetings on the 76th birth of our nation, 76th Independence Day. We've marched through 75 years of development, struggle, and we have reached here based on what our predecessors have put in, have done so much to bring us where we are. And we've heard so much about this by the various speakers who preceded me. And we need to be proud of what they said. We need to dream of what they exhorted us to dream. As I said, we heard a lot about what independence means to us, what we need to be as we go ahead in our future. Therefore, I'm not going to talk much about independent struggle and what we should be as a nation. I am going to talk about my own experience of having lived in Mayo, my own experience of my career as a fighter pilot, so that I can share those vignettes with you. But before that, let me congratulate all the Mayoites who have actively participated in that precise march past, smart turnout, smart drills, something that you do not expect ordinary school children to do. Kudos to the masters. Kudos to the masters who organized them, and most importantly, all the students, all the Mayoites who participated in it. And the fabulous, well-covered speeches and renditions of musical numbers this morning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this wonderful celebration, this significant milestone in our country's life, our young country's life, having completed a remarkable 75 years. Something that we need to be proud of, because we are aware that so many other nations became independent along with us. And most of them, or many of them, are not truly democratic. Whereas we continue to be a truly democratic nation, giving equal opportunities to each and every citizen of the country. The warts and all notwithstanding. So as I said, it's an honor for me to be back in my alma mater. I came here in early 1977, and let me tell you about my first impressions. As you walk into the Mayo College campus, what hits you first is this magnificent example of architectural marvel, the main building, the Earl of Mayo statue, the beauty of the whole campus, the amazing sports facilities that we have in a well laid out campus, the grace of Taragarh Fort behind us, and Mother Hill behind the school building in front of me as we stand. All students wearing a uniform through the whole day, bringing in a sense of equality, egalitarianism, something that you don't see in many of these modern schools today. Well, I do remember spending many hours in that beautifully laid out, rich collection of books in the library. Okay, something that I took solace in for a long hours during my stay here. And most importantly, something that you rarely see in other schools, the empowerment of the senior school appointments. The authority given to the senior school appointments to kind of mentor and control the junior students. All these go a big way in developing us into effective future leaders. But I've had many personal challenges when I came to the school. By then I had changed 2 different boards. I come from a different cultural background, speaking different languages. But it was the hand-holding and the support and the moral encouragement provided to me personally by the teachers and especially by my housemaster, Sri Ramesh Mathur, that helped me in a big way to adjust to the challenges of these schools. Where one felt the tensions of academic pressures, the sports facilities were a big valve that opened to let relieve that pressure, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So my dear friends, you are privileged lot to be members of this, probably the best among the best of the residential schools in the country. You're privileged to have some amazingly erudite staff in the school, those who nurture us, who lay the foundation for our bright future, as I said before. You're privileged because Mayo gives you a well-rounded personality as you graduate from the school. Not many schools give the importance to all-round activities as we do in Mayo. It's not just a sheer academic excellence that makes you a great leader, a great achiever in future. It is what you are, what your character is, and that character is developed on sports fields, how you interact with your fellow team members, the challenges that you face, the grace with which you accept defeat, the grace with which you fall down, feel hurt, look around, get up and be determined to go on to defeat that failure, to achieve greater success. That is something which Mayo gives you distinctly different from what other schools give or any student. And for that matter, we all, my dear fellow Mayoites, we all need to be proud, happy, and feel that sense of privilege in a different manner, not the one that you see. I distinctly remember the annual play, the manner in which was conducted on top of these ramparts of the main building. Billy Budd, played by my class batchmates, Leo Puri, Ranveer Malik, Avik Roy, and others. What an excellent show for young children of 15, 16, or 17 years old to put up so confidently. All these go towards making one a confident young man ready to face the world as you step out of this campus, this 187-acre campus. Because why I say all this is much of this highly advertised public schools and international public schools that we hear about or see about in India, they don't match up, they don't measure up to what Mayo offers. They don't measure up to what Mayo offers because not many people are aware of what Mayo has to offer. You are especially privileged. Please understand that. For me, Mayo just seemed to be giving everything to you and every opportunity. IIT coaching classes about a few months before the entrance exams. The next week you hear the National Defense Academy entrance exam forms are available. Anyone who wants to to appear for it, please do come there. Well, that helped me to realize my dream of becoming a fighter pilot, because that's when I realized National Defense Academy is the route to realizing a dream of becoming a fighter pilot. As I said, I opted to join NDA because of what I read about what our fighter pilots did in the 1971 war. Having got this opportunity to appear for the entrance exam, I was fortunate to have cleared it in the first go itself. When I reached the Air Force Selection Board at Dehradun, many people may have thought that who's this South Indian fellow who's come all the way, poor chap, he had to travel a long distance and things like that. But on the second day, someone asked me, hey, which school are you from? So I said, I'm from Mayo College. I could sense the difference in perception of everyone, not only the fellow students, fellow candidates who came for the interview, but also for those who were involved in assessing these candidates. The name Mayo, the stamp of Mayo, opens many doors. It opens many doors purely because of the sheer weight that name carries, because what the world has seen of the products of Mayo. And you need to be aware of the fact that the Mayo network globally is such a strong network that any of you, after you leave school, after you finish your professional education and things like that, you want to achieve something, you want any help anywhere in the world, you want to look at some of the opportunities that are available, just send a message across your class group, senior group and things like that. Anyone, you'll find a lot of ex-Mayoites who will step forward to hold your hand, to give you the right directions. So that is what Mayo makes you. That is what being a fellow Mayoite makes you. And you must exploit it. You must take advantage of that as you progress in life. So my dream, let me talk about my dream to become a fighter pilot became true because, as I said, Mayo gave me the opportunity. So what is being a fighter pilot? Well, it is like, one feels that becoming the armed forces, when you join the armed forces, you become an officer. Well, there's a lot of style with it, is it not? Let me tell you, it involves a lot of hard work. It involves a lot of using your academic knowledge, your brains, more than the brawn. Today's warfare calls for lots of brains and not pure brawn. Personally, being a fighter pilot was like being one entity with that amazingly fast and agile mean machine. Taking that aeroplane, the fighter aeroplane, flying it in ranges of speeds from 200 kilometers to 1200, 1500 kilometers in a fraction of seconds, taking it to the multiple dimensions of the sky. It also, being a true fighter pilot also meant learning to fight large numbers of 4 or 6 aircraft, either as a team, against them as a team of 2 or at times even individually. And all the time being aware of what the others are doing, what are the threats for you, what you have to plan. Something called observe, orientate, decide and act in matters of seconds. OODA. The OODA loop is what we believe to exploit. It also meant learning to deliver weapon loads, flying at 900,000 kilometers per hour, searching the skies around for adversaries, someone who's trying to threaten you, and going and delivering that weapon load precisely on the targets to achieve your objectives. It also gave you the opportunity to fly fully armed with missiles to go and visit our not-so-friendly neighbor across the Siachen Glacier when one escorted photo reconnaissance missions to gather intelligence. And as I said, in all these maneuvering, looking around, gathering what is happening around you, absorbing it, deciding to act and acting upon it. We are flying in huge ranges of speeds, varying at sometimes steady, sometimes when you enter into combat at huge ranges of speed, your body undergoing gravitational forces to the tune of 5 to 8 times the G that we face as we stand here, and still being able to master, be in control of that platform. Being a fighter pilot, for me as an air defense pilot, meant staying in underground shelters, all fully geared up, to rush to the fully armed combat aircraft, so as to be in the air in a matter of 2 or 4 minutes once the loud instructions come across the loudspeakers. And when this happens, at one moment your heart rate is 60 per minute. In the next moment, you raise to something like 100, 120 pulses per minute. That's the kind of adrenaline that's pumped into you when these kind of occasions come. So, won't that be exciting for a young man? Won't that be exciting for a young man to be living a dream? For me, it was not a job. So is the case with many of us in the armed forces. It is not a job, it's a passion. It's a realization of a dream. In fact, I would say that I was getting paid for my hobby, for indulging in my hobby and not for doing any job. So I am narrating all this to you, is narrating my own personal experience. My dear young friends, please follow your passion in the future. Dream about what you would want to be. You don't have to be the best of scientists, engineers, doctors. You could be the best of writers. You could be the best of photographers. I do see so many young, keen photographers. You could go out into the world of wildlife, the nature. The avenues are many. You don't have to conform to straitjacketed ideas of careers. Dream, follow your dream. If you follow your dream, you are responsible for what you do. It's yours, not your parents, not your master's ideas. It is yours. You take ownership. You feel happy. You will want to make it even better. You will want to make it even a more powerful dream. Learn to test boundaries. Learn to test boundaries and expand boundaries as you grow up in life and as you follow your dreams, my dear friends. So, what allowed us to follow our dreams? That's what we heard this whole morning. What our forefathers did, the struggle for giving us this independent, free India, free from the shackles of slavery of 200 years. So, may I urge all of you, as you grow older, as you progress in life with your careers, I urge you to continue to strengthen this foundation that our forefathers laid for us. Continue to make this country stronger in the eyes of the world in every way, economically, militarily, socially, educationally, on all factors that measure the strength of any nation. And let us be grateful what our forefathers, those who gave us this independence, did to enable us to live in a free country, to be members of a free land, to be enjoying the facilities of such wonderful institutions like Mayo and others. So, may I once again congratulate each and every participant, young participant in this morning, in this morning's events, the mentors, the masters, the staff who trained them, and the principal, the headmasters of both the schools who guide them to achieve such fantastic feat. Compliments, congratulations, and once again, I greet all of you on the 75th anniversary of our independence, the 76th birthday of our nation. But to make our country stronger, I need to ask you a question. My dear young fellow Mayoites, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Do you have it in you? Do you have it in you to make this nation even more stronger, even stronger? Thank you. In that, let's say together, Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the Mayo staff and students, I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Air Marshal T.D. Joseph, our director, General Surendra Kulkarni, Headmaster Senior School, Mr. Naveen Kumar Dikshit, Headmaster Junior School, Mr. Pramod Chaturvedi, and Bursar, Mr. Manoj Kumar Parikh. We are grateful to our guests who have spared their time to be amidst us this morning. We thank all the Karamcharis and all support staff for their constant and consistent efforts that can never go unnoticed. May I now request